This weekend in Rugby League, we've got postponed fixtures, redemption arcs, French ambition, and at least one club trying to remember how defence works. Welcome back to Rugby League and That, where the predictions are bold, humour is dry, and prop forwards are treated like minor deities. Anyway, let's get into Super League Round 2. Super League Round 2. One of the scheduled games postponed for obvious reasons because Hull KR taking place in the World Cup Challenge, giving Warrington actually a slight potential advantage. Come round 3. There's several storylines that feel like they've been written by someone who enjoys chaos. So let's begin with the easiest prediction. It's postponed. Bradford Bulls hosting the Catalan Dragons. Hudsall, the only stadium with its own gravitational pull, or well, I forget which it is. Bradford are still adjusting to full-time speed, while the Catalans' new Sexton Dodd axis looks frighteningly polished. Dragons. The Giant Slayers are off the Leeds. 5 key players returned for Leeds, including the long-awaited debut of Mike. York were heroic last week, but Headingley, it's a different beast entirely. Leeds. Paul Rowley's first home league game as Saints boss. Expect a classic new coach bounce and a more expansive style. Lee will scrap, but Saints should edge it. Wigan are on a redemption arc after the trophyless 2025. Hull FC did win here last year, but this Wigan side looked disciplined, angry and very aware of the narrative. Wigan will take it. Darryl Powell has Trinity playing with actual identity, something Huddersfield really like right now. Injuries are the key playmakers to hurt the Giants. Wakefield to sneak it. Upset alert! Toulouse versus Castleford. Not because Toulouse are underdogs, they aren't, but because this is the moment they can prove that they're not just there to make up the numbers. If they win convincingly, the league will start paying attention. So that's the runners and riders this week. Speaking of riders, let's have a look at some players to watch. We've got 3 players to keep an eye on this week. We've got Micah Sivo. If he's 80% of the old Sivo, someone's getting flattened. Secondly, it's Jackson Hastings. He returns to Super League. If he's organises Saints attack, they could be terrifying. And thirdly, Toby Sexton, Catalan's new conductor. Test of whether an NRL halfback can cope with the British weather and British slopes, particularly Hudsall. Right, on to the Championship, where the chaos is richer, the storylines are stranger, and the attendances are the currency of the realm. Notable absences are Salford, Doncaster and Workington. They all have a week off, resting, recovering and pretending to watch the other games. Halifax Panthers remain suspended from the RFL and their fixtures are still off the board. However, that might change. Widnes are on a short journey to Oldham. Boundary Park, cold, loud and slightly apocalyptic. Oldham will make physical and deeply unpleasant, but Widnes have been clinical under pressure. Vikings to edge a low-scoring grind. Dewsbury against Goole. Dewsbury are flying after that 38-28 win over Newcastle. Goole are still adjusting to the higher tier. Home win feels inevitable. Dewsbury. Sheffield coming fresh after their postponement, but Barrow coming off a 30-0 shutout. That's not form, that's a warning. Raiders will continue that surge. The Hurricanes looked sharp last week. Batley are struggling for points. 12 last week. which barely counts as an attempt. Midlands, Whitehaven are off to West Yorkshire, and they were rattled by Barrow. Keighley at Cougar Park is usually a points fest. Expect tries, mostly from the Cougars. North Wales Crusaders are going right across to Newcastle. They put on 48 against Swinton. Newcastle conceded 38. This feels like a maths problem with only one answer. Prediction: Crusaders. Hunslet, West Yorkshire outfit, are off across the Pennines to the Rochdale Hornets. Rochdale are 3-0 up and are looking like genuine contenders. Hunslet fought hard last week but might lack the depth to stop the Hornets' momentum. Hornets. London are off to Swinton. London have won 14 straight in this fixture. At this point it's less a rivalry and more of a recurring appointment in Swinton's calendar. Swinton. Broncos' full-time edge will tell. Very late on. Yeah, London. So, that's your championship predictions. Let us know what you think. As usual, I'm probably talking absolute nonsense. We still like to know that I'm talking nonsense. And that's a full weekend. A preview for Super League and the Championship, predictions made, reputations on the line, and at least 3 fan bases already typing. See you after the chaos. I'm in this for the likes and the subscribes, but until then, see you. Notable absent. Like right now. Oh, okay, right. Apocalyptic.